Hello everybody, it's Daryl T. Dixon back today on the Daily Daryl Facebook Live today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the tragedy in Branson, Missouri a couple of weeks ago with the Duckboat crash that killed 17 people, and maybe talk a little bit about the lawsuits and the lessons learned from that. So a tale of the tape is that the lawsuit is going to be against the Ride the Ducks, Branson, and Ripley Entertainment, plus the operator of the boat. This was the boat that was carrying these people out on the lake. It's Table Rock Lake there in Branson, Missouri, on these duckboats. Now, duckboats have always been, at least in the last 20 years, have been a source of controversy, because there's been accidents like this before where people were drowned in a similar manner. And we'll talk about that in just a second. More of the facts is that this happened on July 19th, and it was late in the afternoon or early evening, probably around 6:30. And it was a day when the operator of the boat and the boat company knew that the weather could get severe, and ultimately it did. The operator of the boat company made the decision to take this boat out on the lake with all of its passengers, which these boats typically hold up to about 35 people. And what the details that came out today were that there were plenty of life jackets on this boat, but that no one was wearing them. And maybe the operator had even said, you don't need to worry. Hey, Dad, even the operator had told them, you don't need to worry about wearing your lifeboats, but that's never a good sign when you're out in navigable waters, whether it be a lake, a river, an ocean, whatever, and you don't have a life jacket on, especially when there's a thunderstorm brewing. So, again, lawsuits were filed yesterday and today by members of the Coleman family. They suffered the loss of 9 people, members of their family from age 2 to 76 on these duckboats, on this duckboat ride. Yesterday's lawsuit was for $100 million, and today was for an unspecified amount of damage, but it's probably going to be around the same. The lawsuits are alleging negligence, they're alleging wrongful death, negligent infliction of emotional distress. That's where a family member sees something tragic, they witness a tragic event, and of course punitive damages. Both cases have been filed in federal court, and I've only been able to see bits of one of the complaints. So that's as much information as I have on the actual lawsuit at this time. Again, we talked about these duckboats have always been a source of controversy. And back in 1999 in Hot Springs, Arkansas, there was a duckboat crash that led to a big investigation. At the end of that investigation, the National Transportation Safety Board urged all duckboats to remove their canopies. And the reason is these canopies come down, and if the boat was to sink, it basically just encapsulates anyone on that boat and pushes them down into the water. And these duckboats sink very fast. And we know this from past tragedies with this type of boat. There's a push now, with a lot of people to ban these duckboats altogether because they're not safe. There was an incident 3-4 years ago in Philadelphia where a couple of people were killed by a duckboat canopy that dragged them under the water. Again, I said they sink fast. They pull any riders into the water and under so that they can't get out. So I guess that kind of leaves us with the lawsuits, and we don't know what will happen with the lawsuits. We know that there's going to be some litigation that goes on for a while against all the parties. There's going to be a big discussion about what type of insurance that the companies that are being sued have. There will be more discussion about whether this fits under federal statutes, a thing called the Jones Act. Was this a boat in navigable waters? So there's going to be legal, law issues. There's going to be insurance issues. There's going to be fault placed on different people, including the company and the operator. And although I don't know that there will be any in this case on any of the pastors. And I think I did say earlier, the Coleman family lost the most here. They're a family out of Indiana, and I think they lost 9 members of their family. One was as young as 2, and one was as old as 76. So our hearts and souls and prayers go out to that family for such a tragic accident. When they're probably, if they're from Indiana, they're probably there on some sort of a summer break and vacation. It sounds like they were having a family adventure that day that just turned drastically bad. The lessons we can learn, I think, number one, don't go on duck boats until the dust settles here in the investigations and we find out whether these are going to be banned, nationally or statewide or whatever. Stay away from duck boats. Number two, when you go out on navigable waters, make sure you got life vests. There should be life vests for everyone on the boat. And I know under Kentucky state law, if you're under the age of, I believe it's 10, you have to wear that life jacket at all times. Adults do not have to, although it's still a good idea, especially if the boat's moving. A lot of times, boats will ride around and anchor in and whatever and swim and stuff like that. So maybe at that point, the life jacket's not that necessary for an adult, but always for children. And I guess the last lesson is that the waters are so much fun. I'm an avid boater myself. I love it. I can't wait till the next time I get out and get on a boat with friends and have some fun and surf and do all the things that you get to do on a boat. But the water is very dangerous. And even in Kentucky here this year, we've had several, 2, 3, 4 incidences just since May of people drowning on our Kentucky lake. So it is a very dangerous sport, although it's a very fun sport. So just be careful, obey all the necessary laws, and by all means protect those kids. So this is Daily Daryl kind of wrapping up a horrific event in the Branson Ride the Ducks boat crash, and trying to give you a little bit of the spin from the legal angles and safety angles and stuff we try to do here at the Daily Daryl. So it's Daily Daryl. We're out for today. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about water safety or boating laws or anything like that, you can holler at us anytime. Daily Daryl, we're out.